Good morning, everyone, who joining now. Maybe good afternoon or good evening for people who will join with the replay. Um, as any other day of this week, it's been a delight to share, and start the day with practice. And the wonderful thing with this practice is that we really can start from now. Whether we have been here since Monday listening to every sessions or not, uh, in a certain way, it doesn't really matter. What matters is to meet what's here, right now. And this will be maybe the aim for this morning session. And to do that, maybe today we're going to come back already to a lot of things that has been said, but maybe approaching them and engaging with them in a different way, because this moment is different. So because conditions are different now, the way we hear, the way we understand, the way we receive and perceive might also be affected by that, will change as well. So really engaging with things from a different approach, a different angle. And maybe to start with a reminder, maybe for some, maybe for something new for others. It's about really the relationship we have with change. Relationship. It's really it's an important point. The relationship between change and I. And this is really what we learn to engage with. That we learn to know better. This kind of raw material we work with, like resistance to change, or maybe the fear of things changing, or this not wanting that and all these forming around any change in our everyday life. And really all these things, fear, resistance, not wanting, the practice is not about getting rid of this and getting rid of the unpleasantness that maybe we experience with it, or to try to make the pleasantness of an experience last. It is really more to learn to recognize when these things arise. And this is probably from my little understanding, what the Buddha means when he says that the perceptions of impermanence frees our mind. You say a couple of questions: what happens when change occurs? Is it met moment to moment, with or without resistance, with or without clarity? Is there an attempt to control change? Do we really see change happening or not? Are we in a state of confusion, lack of clarity? This is what needs to be recognized, because this is what is happening right here, right now. And this moment, every moment is an opportunity for that, because impermanence, change it's already here. It's right here. It's right now. Breathing in, breathing out, for example, is happening now as you're sitting, or maybe lying down in front of the computer, as listening to me. This change is occurring. And to really notice that in some way, we do not decide to look at change, from a place, from a space that seems permanent. Change is already happening. But just try to make maybe this a little bit clearer. For example, if um, if I start to wonder about how am I going to function, how am I going to live my life if everything is in constant change? eh? And in raising that question in your head, suddenly fear arises. So what can be done here in this moment? Shall I go on, thinking about that riddle, you know? How am I going to function, if things change, and what could be done, and do I understand it well? Maybe something I should talk about, etc., etc. You see, there's this thinking process around a question, or shall I just meet fear that is arising? Because fear is precisely what is happening right here, right now. Just things have changed. From wondering about, oh, everything changed, what am I going to do? Thinking, and suddenly, poof, fear arises. Things have changed. Do I meet that subtle change, or do I start to elaborate, a kind of thinking, conceptual, philosophical thinking about how am I going to manage with change? And realizing that if you go into that thinking process, if fear is here, you miss fear. So in some way, there's a kind of a disconnection with what is happening, with change that has occurred. So really, to get a sense that what we cultivate in our practice is really not about creating a different reality. It is just about a little, really tiny shift of perception that simply recognizes what is already here, but in a different way. And no matter what is met, fear, sadness, whatsoever, joy, happiness, just moment to moment meeting what's going on. So to move further, one aspect that has been already talked about is this the tendency to cling, really to grasp at what I like, what I love, what I know also, or what feels beautiful, what is beautiful, and at the same time to noticing the not wanting when what is held dear, what I love, what's beautiful, what is known, is suddenly lost. Yeah, usually this contraction, this not wanting that comes along. Yeah. Although loss is very part of life. Yeah. It's really it is impossible to avoid experiencing change and loss. It's impossible. And and usually all the probably the sadness that may arise with it, it's just part of being human. But also we may all know that and be very familiar with that concept. Is it really experienced like that? Do we really experience things that way? And if we're honest, well, I can only speak for myself, but usually this is the part we tend to deny. Yeah, this is really the part we take to fight, or again, that we do not want. And for that, I found one of the statements of Byron Katie. I'm sure you're all familiar with her. She says, if you fight reality, you lose. If you fight reality, you lose. How true is that? You know, have you have you noticed how sometimes we behave as if this clinging to what we like, or this clinging to what we dislike, uh, as if this clinging in some way would save us from something. And for those who were there, or I invite you to listen to the replay on last Tuesday, I think, I gave I don't know if it was Tuesday or Monday, I gave this example about a very courageous person I met in the oncology ward I worked in Geneva. And I was saying she was denying the diagnosis of cancer just to remain happy. If in some way, if I still believe I'm healthy, happiness can be found there. And choosing to deny the reality of sickness, as if clinging to something would save us. And this is so poignant, and this is really not something to judge oneself or to judge ourselves for. Really, it is so natural. It's so habitual. And really, these kind of situations really requires recognition, really requires attention, very warm, very gentle attention. A moment to moment recognition, really filled with, I want to say almost with a lot of warmth, with really patience, with a deep sense of care, with kindness, and trust that process of recognizing things. Again, the Buddha said that cultivating and deepening an understanding of how change and impermanence is unfolding and what it does, it frees us. It frees us. So really can I bring trust there? The recognition that frees us from the tangle that tend to form around that reality we're facing. And nothing else needs to be done. Really just a loving power of awareness, And again, to come back to the image that has been used from Master Kusan Tsunim, this Korean Zen master, like a stone lion, standing at the entrance of a city, silent, grounded, welcoming those who come, bidding farewell to those who leave. Allowing this movement of change. No clinging here, no grasping. So I think I'll leave it here for this morning. And really an invitation to start this time of formal practice, this sitting, or whether standing or lying down, really from where we are right here, right now. That's why I always offer the suggestion to really pay attention to what is needed to start this seat. Maybe we plan to sit on the floor. But from the moment we have planned that, and the moment we really start thinking, maybe the outside condition has changed that requires that maybe we lie down. So really an invitation to learn to meet what's here. Change is here, right now. Can this be met with love? We're just finding a posture Now to allow the mind, attention, awareness to land in the body. And realizing, the space that is available when we allow receptivity to be here. Just noticing what's here for you right here, right now. How is experience the body? This morning or this afternoon, this evening. Heaviness, fatigue, freshness, energy, lack of energy, warmth, cold. It's really, inviting the multitude of sensation, pulsing, tingling, itchiness, density, lightness. Such a multitude of things happening right here, right now. All coming in and out, arising, leaving for a rise, leaving for a while, sorry, and passing away, not requiring anything from us. Maybe noticing how some of this physical sensation might be experienced as sometimes unpleasant, uncomfortable. Tension in the neck or in the knee, for example, itchiness on the cheek, rambling thought. Experienced as unpleasant. And maybe notice, if there's a kind of disliking, not wanting that comes along. This just simple sensation of unpleasant, or just maybe a simple contraction. Sometimes just noticing the contraction, the attempt of getting rid of something unpleasant, instead of recognizing the arising of unpleasantness, maybe leaving for a while, like any other experience, just passing away. And maybe in the same way, tuning into physical sensations that might be experienced as pleasant. Maybe the gentle touch of the hands with each other, gentle touch of the hand with the thighs, the warmth of an out breath, maybe. Maybe noticing the tendency to make this pleasant sensation lasting. This kind of I like, and maybe I want more. An awareness of what is going on, filled with care, kindness, patience. Noticing also when there is just the arising of pleasantness, arising, being here for a while, and slowly fading away. Noticing the multitude of physical sensations, experience whether as pleasant and unpleasant. arising and passing away. Nothing else to add to that. Just pleasant or unpleasant or neither nor. Just that. Just this. The changing nature of experience. Change happening in every moment. Right here, right now. Noticing all the changes that may arise as opening the eyes, coming out of a space of immobility into movement, maybe in stretching. Noticing maybe the change of mood, state of mind. The way the simple act of sitting in front of the computer has changed. The way body is experienced right here, right now. Thank you for your practice. So there is a time now for comment, sharing, questions and answers. Whether you want to use the chat, whether as Faith generously offered also to show up on the screen, feel free. Yeah, Cass, good to notice the constancy of change, that's for sure. Yeah, rain and wind, changing is beautiful accompaniment here too. There are so many moments where we're missing change. Change is unseen, unrecognized. We're just taken by our habitual patterns of mind, maybe. Thank you, Lynn, for your comment that this session was comforting. Usually when it comes to engage in this landscape of change, discomfort comes along. Mudita for this body, heart, mind, just as it is. Yeah, just this. Just this. Noticing moment to moment, change happening. Have a good day, Louis. your observation. It has become easy for me to slip into awareness meditation during the day in a calm, comforting way now. Yeah, glad, very glad. Kaz, question. Can you talk about the cultivation of patience that seems so helpful in this practice? There are different ways to cultivate patience. One is to, there are many ways actually, but one is really to learn to see when there is space for things to be and when there is no space. When there is this attempt to control or to change things as they are. And really noticing, experientially, how it is felt. When there is this willingness to meet things, when there is not. How there is this wanting for things to be different. And the more this not wanting, the resisting will be met, and recognized. The more this openness, this willingness to stay still, to step out, to be patient, will naturally arise. It's really in some way patience, arise in a natural way based upon an understanding of what's going on. But really it implies also, as I said, to really learn to meet all these moments where patience is not there, when there is contraction, what makes, I don't know the word in English, when you step out of your shoes. I don't know if this is an image that would fit what really brings, take you out. Really to notice that. Patience really goes with trust. Trust that we have the resources to see clearly, to be kind, and also that we have all the resources that we need for that. I don't know if it brings something, Kaz. Patricia, question? How to recognize and work with what is happening in daily life when it is happening, so that sitting sessions only are not only the sessions only are not as meditation. Of course, when we are involved in activities, it's a completely different way of being. We're not sitting in meditation, but it doesn't automatically prevent us from being aware of what's going on. What are you speaking? Are you mindful of speaking? Are you mindful of the words you're using? While walking, while in movement, is there an awareness of what is going on? Sitting in the computer typing. When driving, bringing a sense of awareness. Where am I when I'm driving? Where's my head? Where's my mind? Feeling the body sitting on the chair, touching the wheel, paying attention to what is going on, or just the driving happening itself and me completely away, lost in thoughts about future, about past. That's a way to cultivate this kind of gentle awareness, bringing a sense of curiosity to whatever activity we're in. But also something here I would like to say is that, what we cultivate when we sit formally, we cultivate something. We're training the mind. We're bringing the mind here, learning to meet with what's here. And this is an exercise of cultivation. And of course, we feel what it does in the moment we do it. But also what we tend to forget is the effect this sitting here this morning may have this afternoon in the way I will be in the world. There is the cultivation of something, and there is the effect. And sometimes the effect is really not, can happen much later. So really not to forget that. David, I'm going through a dilemma which will be a life-changing change, and feeling that I need reassurance that I am making the right decision. I'm struggling to find the trust in myself to make the right decision. What's your thought on this, please? It sounds like one of the 5 hindrances described by the Buddha that we call doubt. Yes, just to say, formal practice will informal practice. Yes, indeed. Maybe, David, one of the things that can be done, if you feel there is enough stability and good resources to do so, is just to engage with what is doubt. How does it feel to be in that space of not be sure of something? The thing is that when we make a decision, of course, we're looking for comfort, we're looking for certainty, we're looking for safety. We are looking for, this is the right thing to do. But this is working to a certain extent because, as we have noticed, nothing is sure in life. Nothing can be 100% under control. We make a decision, and sometimes the consequences it has, it's not up to me. To a certain extent, maybe yes, but part of it is really out of control. And maybe here is to really to engage, how, this is a kind seeking for reassurance, feeling not to be sure, and feeling that I am not sure what is behind. Is there the attempt to make sure that this is right? Just really, getting interested to that process. Okay, certain event changed in my life. Oops, maybe contraction, maybe fear. I have to act upon it. Not so sure. And also to notice that when I try to find reassurance, when I'm not sure about the decision I made, to see how in some way, just look for yourself if it's not feeding a kind of a loop of thinking, of wondering, of questioning, that goes with it. Yeah. And doesn't it feed it, or still feed a kind of slight anxiety behind? Doesn't it feeding this feeling of not be sure instead of free yourself from it? I don't know if it makes sense, David. But certainly not an easy space to be. Definitely not an easy space. And whatever decision you have made, I hope a great amount comes out of it. Definitely. And that can be seen as an opportunity to really understand better what is the effect of change on us, and really help us to discover, habits that we have toward that. But I think this is something we'll get in touch with tomorrow, is when coming with change, what forms all around, and especially, a sense of self, of me being here, managing things, trying to control, trying to manipulate the experience, instead of just learning and opening to reality, to how it is. I think we're going to stop here today. I wish everyone a lovely day, a lovely afternoon or evening, and really look forward to seeing you again. Thanks, Faith, for coordinating things. Thanks to Sangha Live. Wish you all a very nice day. Thank you.